1v1 on Crossing in the Woods. Siberians Penguin versus Complexity. Oberkommando West versus the Soviet Union. Combat Engineers heading for the strategic point. Stern Pioneers heading for their strategic point, so both going for the point directly north/south of their base. Supply half-track probably going to do some scouting from Complexity, who is going with a double Stern Pioneer start, Stern Pioneer start. Siberian's Penguin going with double Conscript start. And that's actually quite unusual to see the Stern Pioneer start. You generally go Kuba Wagon if you want to have maximum firepower in the first engagement, and you generally go Volksgrenadier if you want maximum capping power. Double Stern Pioneer gives you the most raw damage output, but of course also leaves you with the least health and mobility and survivability. But on a map this spread out, I would imagine he is probably going to be sending those Stern Pioneers to each fuel point, hoping to be able to win at least one of those two engagements, whichever one it is dependent on what forces his opponent will dedicate to each side. Scouting with the supply half-track, he does encounter these combat engineers, and it looks like he's going to try to scout his opponent's base. There's actually not much to see here, though. He has not teched to either of the buildings, so he won't be able to see anything particularly interesting. He does see some conscripts, though, so he knows at the very most there can only be one or two squads over here. Stern Pioneers actually go straight south to cut off these munitions. Supply half-track is done scouting and heads back, it looks like. And Complexity will move across the river to take this fuel away from these conscripts, and conscripts versus Stern Pioneers. Stern Pioneers definitely have the advantage, depending on range and cover, of course. The Stern Pioneers get into some green cover, and the conscripts move out of range to finish capping. However, also drawing Complexity away from the point. For a little while, Complexity then begins capping. Conscripts move up. And at this range and cover, I would say conscripts probably have the advantage, which is why Complexity is going to charge. He will take some damage on the charge, though. Probably this one going to die. Yes, they're all focusing fire on the one out of cover. And there he goes. The other three are still in cover, though. Oh, and he charges again, trying to close the gap. And it looks like it could be anybody's fight at this point. It's very close. Oh, they did get that second Stern. I'm not sure who would have won that. That was a close one. That Stern Pioneer had full health, so he may have been able to take all three of those conscripts. Meanwhile, another engagement happening on the right side. This squad forced away by two squads of Stern Pioneers now, so Complexity very heavy on the Stern Pioneers. And they're moving away from the conscripts in the building, although I think that he probably could have brute forced them out. Only 3 windows, so it would be at half firepower, but he would need to close into very close range. And now that this squad is planning a mine, he actually doesn't have them available to support. He should be able to win this engagement no problem, but he's now losing Stern Pioneers very quickly. He needs to retreat that squad. Chasing. Finally, he moves up to support, and they should get away thanks to the screening by these Volksgrenadiers, and Siberian's Penguin does retreat those conscripts. This squad of Stern Pioneers is finally forced away as well by a force of combat engineers and conscripts. So Siberian's Penguin doing all right for map control, not quite able to hold on to 2 fuel points, but at the very least keeping his opponent busy on all points of the map. And it looks like lots of shoe mines going down from Complexity, hoping to whittle away at his opponent's manpower, it looks like, but definitely quite the munitions expenditure there, which is going to limit his ability to build medical supplies, but apparently he is not planning on using medical supply boxes, as he is gone with a battle group headquarters first, probably to get an infantry support gun, would be my guess, but we'll see what he chooses to do there. Volksgrenadiers working on the east. And Stern Pioneers healing up at base to make a push, presumably for the west once again. Conscripts moving up. Folks Grenadiers have sandbag position though, but he is throwing a grenade, which actually didn't kill anything. Did a lot of damage though. But unfortunately, it looks like Siberian's Penguin does have the field infirmary upgrade, so there actually will be no manpower bleed in that regard. So that actually was a somewhat disappointing grenade. However, this one's going into the building. Ooh, very nice grenade. Grenades in buildings do more damage now than they used to. Actually, they've been buffed, so that definitely won that engagement for him. And Siberian's Penguin is forced to retreat, buying Complexity a little time to work on the left side with his Volksgrenadiers, as well as these units of Sternpios moving up, charging these conscripts, doing great damage. They're not, conscripts aren't quite able to do sufficient damage to those Sternpios to convince them to retreat, and the Volks on the flank are also contributing quite a bit of damage, but still only 2 men down. The other 4 will make it back and will get healed by the field infirmary, so minimal manpower bleed there for Siberian's Penguin, so that's lucky. Flamethrower finds these Stern Pioneers in the building. There are 3 windows on this side though, so they stood to take quite a bit of damage themselves. Moves up into the house. Stern Pioneers get out of range. Ooh, but their rifles actually do manage to take one of them out. Moves out of the house up into cover. Although apparently this guy thinks that these boxes are better cover than this giant truck. Flamethrower is doing good damage though, for sure. Conscripts moving up. Oh, Flamethrower forces the Volksgrenadiers to crawl, and they cannot fire while they're crawling, so the Flamethrower actually is very useful in that regard, in that it forces enemy units to stop firing for a moment, but it's not enough to win that engagement as the Volksgrenadiers force the Flamethrower away and take advantage of the superior cover. It looks like a mid-game Kugelwagen has also been produced, forcing those conscripts to retreat, and these conscripts will not be much longer either. The Stern Pioneers, meanwhile, on the left, planting mines, taking territory, trying to make it as difficult as possible for Siberian's Penguin to recover. We do see a Maxim machine gun has been produced. He has gone with support weapon Campanile. He'll probably also be getting some Zis guns as well to deal with the Kugelwagen and possibly any forward trucks that Complexity may choose to plant. Indeed, it looks like he's going to go with the Schwerepanzer headquarters right here on the bridge, which is actually a mistake in my opinion. There's no obstruction between the opponent's lines and the truck. It would be very easy for a field gun to destroy the truck where it's currently placed. I would recommend putting it at least somewhat behind some bushes or something. He does want to maximize its own firepower against his opponent, though, so it's a trade-off, obviously, but you don't want to lose that to a Zis gun, which he knows his opponent could be getting. He's seen this Maxim, so interesting choice there. Shoe mines being detonated by infantry, minimal manpower bleed, minimal damage. Those mines don't really pay off particularly well, unfortunately. Zis gun moving up. Hopefully he won't spot this Schwerepanzer headquarters anytime soon. If he does, then that's going to be very troubling for Complexity. It looks like he's actually dangerously close to discovering it, though. All he has to do is make a move for that victory point, and he will locate it. Stern Pioneers, however, find this gun as well. Totally failed grenade there by Complexity against those units. Oh, but the Stern Pioneers catch those combat engineers in water. Kugelwagen moving up, but he didn't even notice the field gun with his Stern Pioneers, and it moves right into the range of the field gun, and it's taking heavy damage and not reversing, and so the support riflemen actually take it out rather than the gun itself. In addition, of course, to the gun's second shot. Stern Pioneers chasing. Oh, but they stop. Oh, that one split-second stop right there is gonna be probably gonna be the reason it gets completely away. Or not, it looks like he did clear it out. Easily recruitable, though, in the base, and he actually does get suppressed. I think he may have actually cleared it without getting suppressed had he not stopped. Now he's going to be forced to retreat. Yep, definitely has to retreat that, so that one split second makes the difference between retreating or repositioning. However, he had apparently no units up to support, so he probably would have had to retreat regardless. And finally, the Schwer Panzer headquarters does get spotted by these conscripts. So once he recrews that, which he's immediately doing, he's going to probably start firing on it with his Zis gun. Stern Pioneers taking advantage of the suppressed conscripts, though. And the Maxim moving up to suppress them in turn. Meanwhile, suppressed by base guns. Oh, and then they grenade themselves on the tree. The tree, I think that's what happened. I don't know if suppression accuracy debuff applies to grenade throws, but that was horrible. He lost half that squad to his own grenades. And did no damage. Didn't even get any kills, so not the greatest use of infiltration grenades there. This gun actually moves back to get some reinforcements before heading to the front. Personally, I would think that he would use Merge instead, but I guess this is just as effective if the gun's right here, but he is losing precious time to get this thing destroyed before Complexity produces anything really dangerous out of it. Looks like so far he's gone with 1 unit of Obersoldaten. Oh, and he's getting the SCG package. Yep, there it goes. And he should be able to do some heavy damage with that. Bundle grenade going out. This conscript squad barely does manage to survive, and he's charging into red cover. Realizes what he's doing just in time and retreats with only 1 casualty, and his battle group headquarters should be able to get that unit healed up to full, no problem, so that is good. Shoe mine going down on the road right there to discourage any tanks from charging his headquarters, I suppose. Speaking of tanks, it looks like we do see a Tankovy battalion command going up from Siberians Penguin. And he is working on the right side of the map with a small force of infantry, heading to the left side with the rest. Some conscripts and the field gun also getting in position to start firing on the Panzerschwer command. Stern Pioneers charge. And it looks like they should win that engagement. Getting some good veterancy. They may even win this one now that they're Vet 2. He hasn't researched Molotovs or anything like that, so he doesn't have anything to give him the edge in these engagements, and it looks like the Stern Pioneers will win with superior cover, even at this medium range. Yep, and they are forced to retreat. Meanwhile, this gun firing on the Schwer Panzer headquarters gets a couple shots. I don't think he has visibility on it. I think he's just using attack ground, which explains the reduced accuracy. But Complexity is doing a good job screening for his Schwer Panzer headquarters with these infantry, and at the same time he is capturing the right side of the map, forcing a squad of conscripts to retreat. More mines going down from Complexity as well. Volksgrenadiers standing in cover get charged by these conscripts, throwing the infiltration grenades to some decent effect, I suppose. Somewhat disappointing, though. Oh, Siberians Penguin uses Hit the Dirt, which doesn't stack with cover, so that actually gives them not much benefit for these 3 guys. Does give yellow cover to this one model that's not in cover, but it's not enough. Volksgrenadiers are taking them out, and the Maxim is able to save those conscripts just in time, forcing those Volksgrenadiers to retreat. Obersoldaten with the upgrade standing in cover here to protect the Schwer Panzer headquarters from that Zis gun, I suspect, and the Volksgrenadiers and Stern Pioneers are working on mining and capturing the right side. Another mine detonated over here, a couple conscripts down. Quite a lot of munitions being spent by Complexity on these mines for not all that much benefit so far. Usually just one or two, usually about 2 units die every time one of those goes off, so ooh, that was a much better one, but all in all, not great. He's going to need to get a little bit more lucky with those. Otherwise, it's a lot of munition spent for not that much benefit. Obersoldaten do see the Zis gun. They're firing on it, but the Maxim has them suppressed, unfortunately. He will move up to screen with these Stern Pioneers and Volksgrenadiers, though, although he's sort of getting caught on the flank by these conscripts and guards. Oh, and he starts to barrage. Oh, detonating the shoe mine as well. Barrage does heavy damage to that Obersoldaten squad, which is still suppressed. He needs to get that squad out of there. He doesn't notice it. I think he just wasn't watching. And that entire squad gets taken out, which is devastating because it's a 90 munitions upgrade for the STG and 400 manpower for the Obersoldaten, so a lot of resources just went down the drain for nothing. That's a real shame. However, the Sturm Pioneers and Volks do manage to buy a little bit of time for the Schwerpanzer headquarters, once again forcing the Zisgun back, but he's not watching this squad either, and he loses it. What a waste of infantry by Complexity here. Hopefully he'll get back in the game a little bit. Oh, he does manage to catch a squad of Vet 2 Flamethrower on the retreat. Will he be able to take it out? Oh, yes, he will be able to take it out. Flamethrower bursts, killing the entire squad, and he will be able to retake the left side. So that was just what Complexity needed to get himself back in the game as far as unit preservation. It looks like things are quite close. Siberians had a huge advantage before. Now he still has just a slight advantage over Complexity, who has lost a full Volksgrenadier squad and a full Obersoldaten squad. As far as veterancy, though, Complexity does have quite a bit of it, as does Siberian's Penguin. They're not quite to the stage in the game where Complexity's units will begin getting Vet 4 and 5, so he's still able to contend as far as that's concerned. Conscripts capturing the right side, Obersoldaten moving up to counter. Meanwhile, this force of infantry will be able to take the left side unopposed. Schwerpanzer headquarters still has a reasonable amount of HP, and finally, T-34 has hit the field. It looks like it's going to move for the Obersoldaten, which have successfully chased back a squad of conscripts. Sturm Pioneers charging as well. Oh, pay attention! That's a shame. He was too busy microwing his tank, and he allowed a full squad of conscripts to die. Definitely wasn't watching that. Conscripts are successfully retaking the left. Zisgun has moved up once again to fire on the Schwerpanzer headquarters, taking heavy damage. I'm not sure if he can actually see it or not. No, he can't. He's simply using attack ground, which explains some of the missed shots. T-34 could presumably be used to sight for it, but it's getting chased away by the Strickhettenwerfers, taking heavy damage down to 50% health. He really needs to get some screening troops in front of that Zis, or he's going to lose that. Oh no, he's taking heavy damage. Sturm Pioneer's moving up to repair, and a Sturm Tiger hits the field just in time. If he gets that Sturm Tiger down to that Zis gun, he may be able to save it. He needs to get repairs going now. If he had a Minesweeper, he could repair even faster. Oh, he really needs to repair. Oh, he does have the Minesweeper upgrade. I think he may have just purchased that, giving them that just barely increased repair speed. And he will be able to out-repair that while the Sturm Tiger moves up, and it looks like he's going to get a shot off. Oh, and his T-34 may end up being in the wrong place at the worst possible time. Oh no, Sturm Tiger firing. Oh, devastating shot. 4 of 6 conscripts taken down. Zisgun utterly disintegrated, and half of that T-34's HP is also taken out. So definitely made a good entrance with that Sturm Tiger. If he's able to make every shot just as devastating as that one, then this will definitely be Complexity's game. And he does just barely manage to save his Panzerschwer headquarters, in part because the Sturm Tiger actually got hit by the field gun twice because it was using attack ground, and so the shot collided with the Sturm Tiger instead of the Panzerschwer headquarters. And also, the Minesweeper upgrade does give them improved repair speed. And they're also Vet 2, which I think may also give them repair speed? No, I'm wrong about that. No, that's Vet 3 that gives them faster repair. So at the very least, the Minesweeper and also the Sturm Tiger helping did save the Schwerpanzer headquarters, so very close there on Complexity's part, but he does manage to save it in just the nick of time. Sturm Tiger heading back to base to repair. T-34 already getting repaired. It's pretty decent size. Infantry force being mobilized to retake the right, I assume, or possibly the center. And if we take a look at Siberian's Penguin, he is cooking something new. Looks like a T-70 to support his T-34. Which is definitely a good choice when you're faced with Obersoldaten and Sturm Pioneers. T-70 is quite effective at taking those out. Sturm Pioneers are forced to retreat by this force of infantry. T-34 chases off those Sturm Pioneers. So Complexity will have to regroup and reevaluate. where to send his troops, as he is about to lose control of both wings, giving Siberian's Penguin free reign over most of the map. And the T-70 has hit the field. Definitely expecting to see good things from this light tank. It is probably also a good choice when you're faced with a Sturm Tiger, as it's not quite juicy enough of a target for the Sturm Tiger to try to target. It's too fast and not quite high enough value, so it's quite unlikely to be taken out by a Sturm Tiger. The T-70 does find some Sturm Pioneers doing great damage. Oh, first 3 shots take out 2 Sturm Pioneers. Almost netting at Vet 1 already. That's halfway there. T-34 also moving up to help. Oh, full squad of Volksgrenadiers taking heavy damage from a squad of guards. They're Vet 3, don't lose that! Oh, Complexity was not watching. Definitely not watching. Maybe he was watching this. Oh, full squad of conscripts also gets taken down by 1 burst from that Schwer Panzer headquarters. However, he really does not want to lose that squad of Obersoldaten, and he does get it out of there in time. He shouldn't fire. No, that was too late. That was a wasted shot. Oh well. Sturm Pioneers moving up to capture. Conscripts also capturing while trying to fire at the same time. Oh, the Raketenwerfer spots T-70, T-34, but it's angled slightly off. He's planting a mine under T-70 fire. He's definitely not watching that. Oh, notices just in time. Hopefully he will be able to save that. Needs to get out of there. Oh, those shots missed just barely. Raketenwerfer taking heavy damage, though. And 1 Raketenwerfer is definitely not enough to deter these 2 tanks. And the T-34 wheel charge, giving sight lines on the Schwer Panzer headquarters. And it gets taken out. However, he's taking heavy damage from the Schwer Panzer headquarters on that T-70. He needs to be careful. He needs to be careful. What is he doing? What is he doing? He's taking heavy damage. Oh, the T-70 is completely taken out. And he's charging the base with his T-34, calling in a Sturmovik on these wounded infantry, presumably hoping to take out a full squad. He needs to get that T-34 out of there, though. Oh, but the Sturmovik goes for the Sturm Tiger instead of the infantry, which, I mean, that does cause it to be abandoned, but I don't think that was what Siberian's Penguin was hoping for there. Completely wasted artillery, or took out no infantry, and he will easily be able to recrew that, and his T-34's engine was damaged, which will make it easy pickings for the Raketenwerfer. So that was definitely a horribly failed base rush by Siberian's Penguin. What an utter waste of those tanks. I think it would have definitely been better to just work on the Schwer Panzer headquarters, or picking off infantry, or indeed just firing at the infantry, but instead of firing at the Sturm Tiger. But now he's going to be able to recuperate everything fully repaired. No problem. Did he just lose a full squad of Sturm Pioneers? I think he did. I'm not sure how, though. I think the T-34 shot a mine they were planting and they all died. Well, that's not good. Oops. Yeah, that is a full squad of Sturm Pioneers down, leaving Complexity now with only 2 Sturm Pioneer squads of his original 3, 1 Volksgrenadier squad of his original 2, and 1 Obersoldaten squad of his original 2. So he's lost quite a bit. And Siberian's Penguin has lost, I think, 3 full conscript squads at this point. So he's definitely hurting in that regard. And of course he lost the Zis gun, which got obliterated by the Sturm Tiger. So both sides definitely taking heavy losses. T-34 moving up and trying to work on the Schwer Panzer headquarters, doing heavy damage between the T-34 and the Guards rifles. He may be able to take it out. Raketenwerfer moving up to discourage the T-34, but Guard rifles doing excellent damage. Complexity needs to mobilize to push this force away, or he's definitely going to lose that. Oh, and he loses a full squad of conscripts that are overextended, but it's not going to matter if Complexity doesn't get up there. And that is a Schwer Panzer headquarters completely obliterated by nothing but Guards rifles and the T-34. However, the Raketenwerfer does get revenge on the T-34. Excellent shot there, taking that out, but he will lose it to the Guards. DP light machine guns. Sturm Tiger moving up to take a shot. I don't know what he's gonna do here, though. He gets buttoned. Cannot fire while buttoned. Trying to get out of the button. Although, while that will delay Complexity from firing, it doesn't actually serve to destroy the Storm Tiger in any way, as the T-34 is dead and he has no Zis gun or other way to destroy it. It looks like Siberian's Penguin will purchase another T-34 to try and continue to put pressure on Complexity's infantry and his Storm Tiger. Buttoned again. Another Sturmovik coming in, doing heavy damage. Oh! And the DP machine gun finishes them off. However, Vet 2 Oversoldaten moving up to try and push these guards away. Siberian's Penguin getting very aggressive, pushing Complexity all the way back to his base. Complexity's just lost that Volksgrenadier squad, which means he's now down to nothing but 2 Sturmpiles and an Oversoldaten. Definitely hurting for infantry. He's cranking out some new Volksgrenadiers, but they won't have any veterancy, and it's going to be difficult for him now. Storm Tiger moving up, though. Hopefully he will not fire at these guards. It's not just going to hit. That's not going to work. Yeah, that didn't work. Okay. Definitely should have saved for that T-34. He's probably regretting that. He probably regretted that shot before he even fired it, but he is desperate to take out full enemy squads. Oh, Sturmovik going in on the Obersoldaten. Oh, that was definitely... Oh, Hull gun takes out the rest of the squad as the plane crashes down in a giant fireball over here. Not in time to save those Obersoldaten. Now Complexity is really in trouble. He's up against a T-34 in his base. He's only got 2 Sturm Pioneer squads and a fresh Volksgrenadier squad with a Panzerschreck straight out of the spawn. Sturm Pioneer will be protected by its frontal armor. It's not reloading, so it's not particularly vulnerable. Flat gun's also doing actually quite decent damage to the T-34. Panzerschreck does force it away. So it's a good thing he made that Volksgrenadier squad, or that T-34 would have had free reign of his base. And a Puma actually hits the field at the perfect time. Oh, misses both of its opening shots. T-34 hits its first shot. Misses 3 consecutive shots. Horrible luck on this Puma's part. He's at max speed and medium range. He's unable to hit. 4th shot finally connects. T-34's hit it twice. The next shot's going to decide this battle. It all comes down to turret rotation. The T-34 has better rotation. The Puma's facing the wrong way. No, the Puma's going to die. There it goes. Out of control. But it is rotating and it's going to fire, I think. Yes, it does. And it takes out both vehicles. And they are both utterly destroyed, leaving this Volksgrenadier. Where are the other 4 guys? That's weird. There they are. They need to hit the gym. This guy carrying the Panzerschreck is apparently the only one that's for some reason, even though carrying a Panzerschreck, he is still way faster than his 4 teammates. Large blob of infantry over here on the left side, moving up to chase away these Sturm Pioneers. They will get away, though. Sturm Tiger is still reloading for the next 10 seconds, so unfortunately will not be able to fire at this giant blob, which was quite concentrated here. That would have been a good window of opportunity, but it couldn't reload in time because of the T-34 base rush. Volksgrenadiers working on Eastern Victory Point. And Complexity is doing quite well for points, actually. He still has 297 remaining, despite how incredibly behind he is on unit preservation. So Siberian's Penguin is going to need to capitalize on his superior unit preservation and get control of some of these victory points. However, that Sturm Tiger, as you can see, is doing a great job of whittling Siberian's Penguin's army down. He still has more units than Siberian's Penguin, though. And he definitely... he still has more units than Complexity, though. And he's also doing a good job of chasing Complexity's units and eliminating full squads. That's Sturmovik, his T-34s, just time and time again. He has managed to take out full squads, but he needs to keep it up. And he actually... That chase, he could have done a little bit better. You don't want to get too close to your target as you're chasing it, or you won't be able to take advantage of your hull and coaxial machine guns, which obviously not as powerful as the turret, but they're actually almost better than the turret against units on the retreat if the turret is just going to miss over and over again. More shoe mines going down from complexity, spending a huge amount of munitions on mines and upgrades, taking advantage of the fact that he can use his infiltration grenades should he need to use abilities, not spending too much munitions on standard grenades, which are, of course, much more expensive than infiltration grenades. Trying to win this engagement with Sturm Pioneers, but these vetted guards are just too tough. Grenade going out, forcing those Sturm Pioneers to retreat, which will win Siberians Penguin some territory, but unfortunately will not take out any full squads. Volksgrenadiers moving up. Volksgrenadiers actually managed to recover the Obersoldaten LMG, MG34, so they should be able to actually vet up quite quickly and do very good damage at maximum range. Very nice indeed. And he should actually be able to recover this PTRS as well, which is definitely good, especially on a Panzerschreck squad. It'll give them just that little tiny bit of extra anti-tank. Oh, that was a full guard squad. If you weren't, I don't think the camera was quite on that, but that was definitely a full guard squad taken out by the Sturm Tiger. So that, since it was recrewed, has managed to get 11 kills. Before it got decrewed, it had 12, so it's up to 23 actually. T-34 taking some damage though from this PTRS/Panzerschreck squad. Infiltration grenades going out. I don't know what they were throwing at. That was horrible. So infiltration grenades definitely give you less accuracy but more raw damage, and I think there is a reason that it's so cheap, because sometimes I think that those things just get thrown completely randomly and off target. It doesn't make any sense. Second T-34 moving up to support the first. It's also getting repaired, so that's good. Guards rifles also moving up. And Siberians Penguin definitely has great map control right now. He has all 3 victory points, and he also has both fuels and both munitions. Complexity sort of just hanging on to the points directly outside of his base. However, if we do look at unit preservation, we will see that Siberians Penguin has nothing but 3 guard squads, 2 of them freshly recruited, and 2 T-34s, and some conscripts and combat engineers. Complexity has nothing but 2 Volks, 2 Sturm, about to be a 3rd Sturm Bio, and his Sturm Tiger. So it's actually very close as far as unit preservation goes. However, ooh, stun grenade going out on those guards. If only that had landed before the guards grenade, he actually probably could have won that engagement. So that was a bit of a stalemate there. Actually, I think retreating those guards may have been unnecessary, but then again, he already holds the territory, so if he just wants to heal up and reinforce, that certainly makes sense. Sturm Tiger reloaded and ready to take out another high priority target, possibly one of these 2 T-34s, which are moving to take out some completely unsupported Volksgrenadiers. Complexity desperately hanging onto the victory points. Oh, Sturm Tiger did fire at a guard squad, but one of them just barely makes it out of the blast, so that actually will not be wiping a full squad, and he should be able to recover from that. And now Siberian's Penguin is going to take advantage of the fact that that just fired to rush the Sturm Tiger, but that will be a mistake, as there is a PTRS Shrek squad on the retreat. There's also another Volksgrenadier squad here too. They don't have a Panzer Shrek, though, I believe, so. Oh! He definitely should have chased that, though. Wiping that squad would have been very helpful. But he has learned something from his previous 2 base rushes. He knows that they failed miserably and resulted in dead T-34s, so he's trying to be a little more conservative with his tanks. Definitely makes sense, knowing when to push and when not to push, and I would say that not pushing was the right call here, as a Jagdpanzer has just hit the field. And it's heading straight for those T-34s, although up against 2 T-34s, the Jagdpanzer may have some difficulty. Sturm Tiger's still reloading as well. However, he's not focusing on enemy armor. He just wants to eliminate as much enemy infantry as possible. Definitely the strength of the T-34. And he is doing great manpower bleed, but he just can't quite finish off any of these Sturm Pioneer squads. They keep on retreating with 1 man left and then making it away on the retreat. Sturm Tiger is reloaded, and it's going to head to the left. Oh, Combat Engineer squad needs to retreat. And it does make it away in time. DP's hitting the MG34 Volksgrenadier, which he cannot afford to lose. And it does make it away just in time. Sturm Tiger is going to move up, but it's totally unsupported. It looks like it's going to hit this hedge, though. It needs to be careful. Oh, it does go through the hedge, and it does take out the entire guard squad. So great shot there. I was almost certain I was going to hit this terrain, though. Third T-34 on the field. And the combat engineers did make it away alive, so we won't need to recruit a third squad of these, I believe. He's lost only one full combat engineer squad. So he will be able to repair these, however, quite slowly if he doesn't bring in one or two more. But it looks like he's trying to save up his manpower as he is hurting for it for sure. He wants to try and build up a critical mass of T-34s, would be my guess, judging by what he's doing. Lots of mines going down, and these mines are going to become much more critical than they were in the early game, as a disabled T-34 engine is much more important than two dead conscripts. Guards fighting against a Jagdpanzer, not able to penetrate the armor though, and the MG-34 Volksgrenadiers, convincing them to retreat. Got 3 conscripts on the point, and he actually has chosen a commander that allows him to upgrade with PPSHs. I'm rather surprised he hasn't done that on this squad, considering he has quite a fair deal of munitions. But I guess he wants to save that for his Sturmovik strikes, which have definitely done an excellent job of not just damaging his opponent, but wiping out full squads, including a full squad of Obersoldaten at one point, so it's definitely paid off. Complexity moving his Sturm Tiger up, getting very aggressive, firing into the fog? No. Changes his mind. Sturm Tiger has been quite effective at baiting enemy T-34s, and he's taking advantage of that to try and get some damage. Oh, Shoe Mine destroys the engine. PTRS shot as well. Panzerschreck main gun destroyed, and the Jagdpanzer finishes it off. But 2 more T-34s moving up to support. Sturm Tiger firing. Oh, completely destroys one T-34, but the Jagdpanzer miraculously survives and is actually able to fire. Oh, but his armor just can't protect it, and it does go down to the T-34. And it looks like PTRS and... Sturmovik. Actually quite disappointing. The Sturmovik did not do much. It was not nearly enough on that Volksgrenadier squad. Not nearly enough. And the PTRS actually destroyed it, in addition, of course, to the damage from the Panzerschreck. Netting that Volksgrenadier squad Veteran C5, and that is not even a squad that came in from the beginning. That was a fresh squad purchased after all of Complexity's Volksgrenadiers were dead and upgraded with the Panzerschreck as an emergency reaction to a T-34 in his base, and it is now Vet 5 with a stolen PTRS and a Panzerschreck. Meanwhile, Vet 4 Sturm Pioneers, ooh! Oh no! Oh, that was close, but the T-34 is going to move up, and these combat engineers are also in the retreat path. I'm not sure that's going to be able to get away, and that's a Veteran C4 Sturm Pioneer unit. That's going to be close. Oh, that's a shame. Sturmovik caught them in the river and obliterated them. Meanwhile, some Minesweeper upgraded Sturm Pioneers are trying to hold the victory point on the right, but Complexity and Siberians Penguin are running very low on victory points. Both of them have roughly 100 victory points left, and all 3 of the points are being contested by one of them or the other at this point. Sturm Tiger is reloaded, and it has 20 kills. Oh, excellent crush by that T-34. He needs to get that unit of Sturm Pios out of there. I'm not entirely sure it's going to survive. One shot could end that squad. Oh, but it hits the husk of the Jagdpanzer, fortunately, and that Sturm Pioneer does manage to get away. These Vet 5 Volksgrenadiers with the PTRS are moving up, forcing that T-34 to reconsider. MG-34 doing heavy damage to these combat engineers. Sturm Tiger shot goes out on the T-34, and he doesn't react in time. He must not have seen it through the fog of war, and that takes out the complete T-34. And another Puma is hitting the field, interestingly enough, which you wouldn't think of the Puma as much of a late-game unit, but it actually does do quite well against T-34s under the right circumstances and with veterancy. We'll see if he's able to keep that Puma alive. His opponent is doing nothing but making T-34s. It doesn't look like he's planning on any other form of late-game tanks, as he has not teched up to anything beyond the T-34, and he has not chosen a doctrine that can bring in the ISU or the IS-2, so he's pretty much stuck with T-34s and guards as his main force for the rest of this game, whereas Complexity is sort of diversifying his army, getting some lighter vehicles, which he can totally afford to do now that his opponent has kind of dug himself into this rut. MG-34 is also building up vet against these guards rifles, which is great. For that Volksgrenadier squad to scale into this late game, it means that Complexity is not necessarily forced to. Oh, never mind. Forced to build a Schwer Panzer headquarters to build Obersoldaten, which now he may want to do since he just lost that squad. Which is definitely bad news for him. However, he does have a new anti-infantry solution on the field in the form of this flak half-track. Definitely risky proposition against T-34s and guards, but if you can keep it at maximum range, it is plausible that it could contribute to defending these victory points as things are really starting to come down to the wire. However, I fear that a T-34 may just bum rush it and obliterate it completely. Firing from max range, not quite able to suppress. The conscripts with Vet 3 recover the PTRS, giving them some minor light vehicle utility. Sturm Tiger moving up, but I think using a Sturm Tiger shell on a dying conscript squad would just be silly. And indeed, he is simply repositioning. Oh, T-34 tries for the crush, but gets messed up a little bit. Oh no, and now because of its crush attempt, it now is getting flanked by a Puma. However, the guards are doing a good job of... Oh! Get that Puma out of there! Oh, he should have popped smoke or something. That was just... I don't know what that was. Oh, jeez. And I think that Sturm Tiger shot actually did more damage to these Volksgrenadiers than it did to these guards. And the Volksgrenadiers do have a Panzerschreck. Panzerschreck and a PTRS. And he's... Oh, jeez, but he's... Oh, God, that was hard to watch. That was hard to watch, those Volksgrenadiers. He could not afford to lose that Vet 5 squad. He now has absolutely nothing that can contend with his opponent's armor. His Puma died. His upgraded Volksgrenadiers died. The Sturm Tiger is actually now his only way of destroying enemy armor, which is certainly effective, but it's got to be reloaded and positioned in just the right spot. What a brutal game. Siberians Penguin down to 2 squads of guards. This squad of conscripts, which actually has survived since the very beginning, I think. Despite their pathetic amount of kills, no Molotov, no PPSH, and a PTRS. Sturm Pioneers doing excellent damage at close range. Those guards are not going to be able to win that engagement, and they're forced away. He should have chased. I think he could have killed that entire squad if he had chased. Not as important as planting a mine. Perhaps more important than capturing this victory point. Maybe. Maybe not. I think he could have killed that full squad, though. And it is Vet 3. Losing that would have been very rough for Siberian's Penguin. First squad of guards coming in. He just keeps on bringing these in, keeps on bringing in T-34s, making the same 2 units for the entire game. Complexity's attempt at branching out, at least on the Puma side of things, didn't work out. We'll see if the flak half-track pays off. Who knows? New T-34 heading to the left side. New DPs on these fresh guards, firing at these fresh Volksgrenadiers. It's as if we're all the way back to the 5-minute mark. And the flak half-track is immediately destroyed as soon as the T-34 attempts a rush on the left side. So, as predicted, that did not really have much impact on the battlefield. Sturm Tiger moving up to fire on a fresh guard squad, which does not react in time, not even close, and is completely taken out. However, if he had to choose a guard squad to lose to the Sturm Tiger, then the one with no veterancy would definitely be preferable, although he's probably regretting purchasing DPs for them already. Combat Engineer squad working on the center. Not quite close enough to trigger that shoe mine, but they are under Puma fire, and a Vet 4 Sturm Pioneer squad is moving up to push them away. However, there is a squad of conscripts and a T-34 guarding the right side, a T-34 and some guards working on the middle/right. And it looks like he's actually going to charge that Puma with the T-34. Oh, Sturmovik actually does great damage to the rear armor of that Puma. The Puma needs to pop smoke. Oh, I think that Puma was probably a mistake. Desperately trying to get it out of there. He does need AT, but a Puma is just not the solution against T-34s. Oh, especially an unvetted Puma against a properly micro T-34, and Siberian's Penguin is doing an excellent job of chasing, but he doesn't want to lose the T-34, and he knows that a base rush would probably not end well for him. Oh, but a Rakettenwerfer's on the field and positioned really well. Oh, one more shot from that Rakettenwerfer could finish this T-34 off. What's he doing? He can't afford to stop. Get out of there. No. Oh, that was so close. However, that series of shots and damage taken did net his T-34 veterancy too, so that actually is good. I think he probably should not stop, though. He needs to keep moving. He needs to get all the way back to base and repair, no matter how tempting any target he spots on the way may be. And he also needs to watch those guards' rifles. If that shot connects, it could be disastrous. Ooh, perfect dodge, actually. Perfect dodge. He actually could have stayed after that fired. I think he retreated a little bit reactively to the Sturm Tiger shot, but once he saw that only 2 of his men had died, he probably could have stayed, killed those 2 Volksgrenadiers, and killed that Rakettenwerfer. So I think that was actually a mistake to retreat. It was a really good dodge on his part. I think that the decision to retreat was his only mistake there. However, he is working on the middle victory point. He does have the left victory point. Things are really coming down to the wire. Only 50 victory points remain for both sides. And Siberian's Penguin is actually making a squad of conscripts, just desperate for capping power at this point. Complexity making some new Sturm Pioneers as he's lost every single Sturm Pio squad he had. He's lost every Volk squad he had, and he's making new ones. His Puma is alive, just barely, and he is definitely thanking his earlier self for purchasing that Sturm Tiger, because it is the only thing that is keeping him in this game, and it will be firing at these guards very soon, possibly wiping them out entirely before they have even had a chance to contribute to the game. Here it goes. Come on, Siberian's rifle, or Penguin, just notice. And he just loses that full squad, not paying any attention, worrying too much about the middle. Infiltration grenades miss these guards' rifles, and they are definitely going to be able to win this engagement. They both have Vet 3, and they're up against vanilla Volksgrenadiers, which are not going to stand a chance. Neither will this Rakettenwerfer. He is going to be able to hold the left and the middle. I don't know what Complexity can possibly do to win against these units. The Puma has absolutely nothing to contribute against vetted guards. His Sturm Pios are not going to be enough. All he can do is reload that Sturm Tiger as quickly as he can and use it to take out guard rifle squads, but he's continually using, not that it's a waste, but he keeps on taking out the unvetted guard squads when really he needs to try and hit these Vet 3 guard squads, which he has no counter to currently whatsoever. He tried a flak half track, but that just isn't going to cut it, and he can't make Obersoldaten without rebuilding his Schwere Panzer headquarters, and he simply does not have time. There's only 7 points remaining, and it looks like these conscripts are going to be able to take this victory point. T-34 up against a Puma, which is buttoned. T-34 backing away. Ooh, Sturm Tiger is not quite able to take out the entire squad, and the T-34 moves up to try and finish it, popping smoke, and all the while conscripts taking the point and Complexity not able to take the middle, and that is the game. Wow, quite a rough game. Really desperate on both sides. I would say that Complexity building his Schwere Panzer headquarters right here may have been his biggest mistake. He really just could not defend it. He did a great job of screening for it in that early game, but every time he had to, it was almost out. Sort of a desperate maneuver that cost him a lot to do every time. And he did bring that Sturm Tiger on just in time to save it once, but guards managed to take it out the second time. And then it was just nothing but guards and T-34s for the rest of the game, and he just couldn't quite take it out. I think some of his build decisions were incorrect. I think Pumas are not the solution to guards and T-34s. At least not if you can't keep them alive and get vet on them, which is obviously extremely difficult to do. For example, in that engagement where the Puma and the T-34 both destroyed each other, that is actually in the Soviet player's favor because while the Soviet player can afford to lose a T-34, the Overcommando player cannot afford to lose his Puma. He needs to keep that alive and get veterancy on it for it to remain relevant. And these Pumas really just were cannon fodder for his opponent's T-34s in the end. The T-34 is superior on average. A Puma can win, but usually the T-34 will emerge victorious. And of course, these Volksgrenadiers squads he could not afford to lose those vetted and upgunned Volksgrenadier squads. But he did, and once that happened, he just really struggled against his opponent's armor and superior infantry. And without being able to produce the Lux or more Obersoldaten, he didn't have any solution to these Vet 3 guards other than to blast them with his Sturmtiger. The Flak half-track was a huge mistake as it did nothing and then died, and the Pumas, like I said, didn't really work out for him. The Jagdpanzer, I think, was actually quite a good decision. I think that it contributed quite well to this battle in the middle when his opponent had 3 T-34s and only 2 of them survived, one remaining with almost no health. I think second Jagdpanzer may have been a better call, but that is, of course, just my opinion. Very close game, very well played by both sides. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.